Hola, hola. Hey, y'all. Hola, hola. Buenos dias. Y'all see my war room prayer? Yes, yes. Great morning. Yes, I am in the office. Y'all know when this is my husband's hat. I wear this hat so much. My friend rags on me. She's like, can you go buy some new hats? And I really do need to. But I don't always intend to have to wear a hat. But this head of mine needs some fixing. Hola, hola. How y'all doing? Success with Lisa, Albert Shero, Sherilyn, V Moniz. Been waiting for part 2 since yesterday. Oh, I gotta finish part 2. I know. I got so caught up yesterday. It was crazy. And I actually don't have a lot of time now. I gotta race off to appointments. I have tons of stuff to do. LaVisca, Keisha King. That's my girl, y'all. I love me some Keisha King. Go follow her. Hey, Eileen. I like this hat too, though. This is my old man hat. This is one of them granddaddy hats. Hey, Tina. This is one of them granddaddy hats that you can go into your granddaddy closet and pull out. I guess that's because my husband act like an old man. Hey, B. Barden. Hey, B. Redmond. I love you back, Keisha, Keisha, Keisha. A New Horizons. Hey, Dana A. Winston. Hey, Kyrie Jana. Yes, part 2. Okay, so I need to finish part 2. This is not intentional to be part 2, but I need to finish the value piece, right? Hey, Shanda. Skin Tea Melissa. Hola, hola. All right, guys, this is actually not the part 2, but we will do part 2. Let's do part 2 this evening. I'm going to get a banner made. We're going to do part 2. I don't have no meetings tonight, so we'll do a part 2 this evening. Keisha Burton. All right, but I wanted to just kind of, I just did the Wake Up and Win call, y'all. And I wanted to, part 2, great, yes, this evening. I wanted to just do a brief, thank you, Marla, watching you, awesome. Part 2 this evening, yes, we're gonna do the part 2 this evening about value. Thank you, Nat Rowe. Good morning, that was an awesome Wake Up and Win call. Eileen, Success with Lisa. Hey, Lisa. I so need to come visit you. Are you in Waco? I think you're in Waco, right, Lisa? That Wake Up and Win was fire. Takesha, hey, lovely bubbles. Awesome. All right, so let me talk to you guys really quickly. This is going to probably scare some of y'all away. So the numbers may drop. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. I am okay with those of you who make a decision to fall away. Okay? Let you know that in advance. But I want to talk to you guys really quickly about purpose, peace, and joy in life. Because I just think we're in a generation where, hello from Russia, hola Russia, come to St. Louis, Missouri, please. Tour coming soon. But peace, purpose, peace, and joy, okay? We're in a hurting generation. People are hurting. People are hurting. People are, I don't know, it's so crazy because we have way more in this generation than we've had in any other in history, right? We have all the amenities, we have all of the we have technology, we have all the conveniences. It's just, life is so much easier in this generation than it has been in any other generation. Now, even speaking from my family, right? You know, for those who are in the United States and you're African American, you know, it was just the 50s, 60s, 70s, really the 70s, 60s, 70s, where our ability to do what we want, when we want, how we want in America was there, right? My family comes from Belize and they just got their independence in 1983. It's just so many things, or 81, 83, 81, one of the two. But the point is with all the wonderful, easy things that we have access to in this world, in this generation, we are some of the emptiest people, some of the unhappiest people, some of the joyless people. It's just, I don't know, it pains me because the more I talk to people, the more I can see a hurting generation. So I'm going to talk to you about just a few key things that I would suggest for those of you that are viewers that are watching need to incorporate in your life. This is coming from personal experience. You know, I went through a series of ups and downs. I deal with something called hyperthyroidism. Y'all see this thing on my neck. I'm headed to a doctor right now after we're done. This thing is, it's like the engine of your car. It controls your mood. Some days you're good, some days you're bad. Some days you're happy, some days you're sad. Some days you have energy, some days you're exhausted, right? It was all these things. So I started taking our TLC products, and they're on the shelf. You can't see them. They're in bins. I started taking our TLC products, and it began to help, right? I do the NRG, I do my tea, I do the NutriBurst, I do all these things, right? Yeah, I have hyperthyroidism, okay? You're always so up and happy. Well, thank the NRG and NutriBurst for that. But here's the deal. I went through a season of sadness, of depression, right? Because you just mood, it's horrible. And I knew it wasn't me. I was like, what is this? I knew it wasn't me. And what I found, yeah, it's a goiter, but the goiter is produced from the thyroidism. Hey, Arrow from Jamaica. Good to see you. So long story short, I went through this period of sadness and sorrow. And yeah, you're not your normal self. And it's like an introduction to mental illness, right? No, I'm not mentally ill and nothing wrong with me. But when you have physical ailments that trigger your mood, your hormones, and all these different things, women, you deal with it a lot after babies. We get postpartum depression. But here's the deal. We're in a generation where people live like that every day. I had a glimpse of it. And that glimpse was something that I saw myself locked away, buried in my house, crazy thoughts going through my mind, totally separated from a level of purpose or joy in my life. And I was like, what is this feeling? I believe I went through that to begin to understand where people are on this earth. When I began to talk to people and I can see where they are, and I can see that they are so disconnected in life. We got more people committing suicide. I used to live in Memphis. My neighbor's kids are in maybe the 4th grade. They had a classmate commit suicide like 2 weeks ago. 4th grade, from being bullied, right? From being bullied. This is just insane. So anyway, when that happened, all this stuff is happening. Just tons of stuff happening. And so here's what I've discovered about our generation. Number one, our generation a lot of us in this generation have no vision. And when I say that, I say this to this point. So many of us are so used to being entertained. We're so consumed by technology. We're so consumed by reading blogs and seeing what Rita Ora, whatever her name is wearing, or what Nicki Minaj looked like, or Lady Gaga, or Taylor Swift. Like, we're so consumed with the lives of other people that we have no vision for ourselves. And the vision that has been created is one of which we idolize these people, and then we are envious, or what they call covetous. Is it covetous? I don't know. But you really do want their lives. You begin to desire the lives of all these people that you see. So what does that mean? So that means that you are at a place where you start wanting to do things fast. Okay, I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna try to be a singer. I'm gonna go on American Idol or The Voice, and if they don't receive me, my dreams are shattered. People start doing all this microwave attempts. They try one thing, they get a job, and they suck because they have no work ethic, and they get fired, so they get depressed. Or your relationship, you're in a horrible relationship, but you wanted the idea of love, so you go ahead and get in that relationship, and it falls apart, and you get depressed. It's all these external circumstances that we're trying to create in our life, but we have no connection. We have no vision, and we have no connection. Okay? No vision and no connection. Hey, Dion. You know what? It's only for our team. FYI. We don't let any outsiders in because we do so much stuff with our team. So we'll talk about it more. But here's the deal. So it's so much stuff happening that we're trying to become what we see on TV, and if we don't get it fast enough, we begin to cave in and feel purposeless. And what happens with that is that we begin to start telling ourselves that we're not good enough. We start telling ourselves that maybe nobody will care if I die. I've been there before, right? Tried to commit suicide when I was 13. You know, have a first little heartbreak. And I thought maybe if I die, everybody would care. And then start picturing what your funeral would look like. And the reality is, everybody will be sad for a couple of weeks and they'll remember you, but life goes on, right? So the vision, there's no vision. And then there's no spiritual relationship with your purpose here on this earth. What do I mean by that? That's connected to God understanding that he brought you here with a purpose, and that is totally different than what you see on TV. That you have an assignment on this earth that nobody else has, and that you can't try to be like somebody because there's only one of you and there's nobody else out there who've been able to do what only you were born to do. And so many people, right? So many people out here are disconnected from a vision, disconnected from a purpose, and disconnected from a higher source of which is God, to be able to show them, just having some sense of a go-to person to say, Lord, I need you to show me what my life is supposed to be. I need you to help me understand what my purpose is on this earth. And I need you to show me how to love. Like, we don't have a higher source for a relationship, right? To really understand who we are in life. Also, we don't have physical relationships, guys. We don't really have a lot of friends that you can trust. We live in a very judgmental society, right? That I will judge you before I ever meet you. And that judgment is going to be me looking at you and saying, oh, she's crazy. Oh, I don't know what's wrong with her. You heard her, girl, she was saying whatever. It's a beat down of a community rather than a purpose-driven community, rather than a support-driven community. So we don't have real friends that if I'm hurting, I can call and say, man, I need to talk. I'm weak right now. I feel like I'm losing my mind. And somebody say, you know what, Nick, I got your back. I got your back. Let's pray right now. We don't have that. And many of us don't know how to be that because we don't trust people. We don't trust other people. We've been hurt before. And so now we become people that we're not trustworthy because we don't know how to be a support for people who are hurting. So now you have a society of people who are walking around in pain, lonely, right? I said this years ago with my mom when I was living in Memphis. Memphis was one of the loneliest places I've ever been. Why? Because maybe it's because I left Atlanta where I knew everybody. I was living in Orlando where I had met such a great community. And then we end up dropped in this little city that if you weren't from there, you really don't fit in there. And I told my mom, I said, I've never understood what they meant, but now I know what they mean, that you can be in a room full of people and feel like you're all by yourself. Right? And that's happening all day, every day. We learn how to look good on the outside, but on the inside, our lives are falling apart. Yeah, you can rock your red bottoms. You can get the best dressed award. You can even have the fanciest cars with the greatest rims and the best sound system, the best paint job. But your life is falling apart. Your marriage is falling apart. Your relationship with your children are falling apart. There's no community. There's no connection. There's no support. There's nobody to call on and say, listen, I need somebody to talk to. Can I just tell you where I'm at? And so now we have a generation, guys, I would probably say 5 out of 10 people are dealing with some level of depression. It's like, yeah, I don't know what it is. I do know what it is. But I live in a gated community, right? Not a gated community, a golf course community. It's beautiful. And these folks don't never, you might see them walking around, but we hardly ever see our neighbors. And we've tried to build relationships with them, but guess what? They judge us. They like, hi, right? Because I'm in my mommy gear, little shirt, little hat. They don't know anything about my life, anything about what I do. They just watch and maybe make assumptions. I don't know. But they have no idea who I am. They have no idea if I can be a source of support. They have none of that. And so we've tried, to say hi, but maybe we're different. I don't know, our skin color. I don't know what it is, right? But I look and I'm saying, wow, we're in a community where Everybody kind of has their life together, very cookie cutter, beautiful, nice house. Everybody has nice cars in the driveway. The husband might go to work. The wife is at home watching the kids. They walk around with pushing the strollers, and it's the perfect little suburbia. But community it's down. It's no community. It's no community. And I know I have to do something to change that. But we started doing it at our church. And it was like, okay, Nicole, that may be the case, but you have to start becoming the initiator. Start going out and just, hey, I want to bring you some cookies, neighbor. How are you? Right? But my point in saying all this, guys, is that we live in a world where people are hurting. And the way to get purpose, peace, and joy is this. Number one is you got to have a relationship with God. You got to have some kind of spiritual connection. If I allow the behavior and the treatment of people around me to determine my value, I would have been dead. I would have been dead. Because people come in your life, they come and they go, right? And it's painful. I've moved 10 times in the past about 10 years, about 13 years. So I'm always going to a new place where I'm trying to make new friends, and some of them work out, some of them don't. Some people abuse you, some people don't. But if I allow the external relationships to dictate my value, I would have been dead. Why? Because everybody's not going to value you. The way in which you get your value is in your relationship with God. See, when God can show you who you really are and you understand how amazing, how beautiful you are. Psalms 139 says, he formed me when I was in my mother's womb, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I was handcrafted. I was carefully knitted together. Meaning that every part of my being was designed to be here. When you understand that, then no matter what's happening around you, you got to keep telling yourself, oh, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Yeah, you might see my flaws, but I am fearfully and wonderfully made, right? The second piece of that is getting attached to a vision. What is your vision for your life? What did God put me on this earth to do? Why am I here? I spent my whole college career. I tell people, I don't remember anything I did in college, but I do remember what I learned, and I learned about myself. That was what college did for me. That was what college did for me. And in college, I spent every waking day saying, Lord, why am I here? Why am I here? I had to find majors. None of the majors worked out. I was like, I can't see myself working none of these jobs that these majors are trying to get me to go do. Why am I here? And he just carefully knitted my path together with people in ministry who started speaking life into me, who put me in position to start speaking to juvenile youth. And I mean, when I look back, I'm like, oh God, you are so amazing. Because it was a setup for where I am today. And that was back when I was 19. That was half my life ago. I'm 38, right? God gave me a vision in my college days. I remember I saw a microphone in the stage. I didn't know what it meant. But I saw a microphone in the stage because I kept asking, what is my purpose? And I was looking for the clues of where my life was going. And I saw it. So I got into radio, television, and film. I started doing interns, BET intern, Steve Harvey. I worked for Steve Harvey's show, worked for CBS. I had my own radio show, right? I started doing my own radio show, and I realized, oh, I like to talk. I like this, right? Still didn't know where it would lead. But I started taking action on the vision that got little glimpses. It wasn't a full picture. It was glimpses, a microphone. And I saw Oprah. I was like, oh, I want to be like Oprah. Right? You start identifying with people. And then you start seeing, oh, okay, ooh, I like her path. I want to go the path that Oprah has gone. What does that path look like? Right? The vision. The third thing to this, guys, is getting yourself engaged in taking action, but taking action on things that impact other people. Right? We're a very selfish society. Me, I. It's all about what I want, when I want it, how I want it. And if you don't give it to me, then screw you. Right? Screw you. And one of the things that I have learned to do is when you are engaged in activities and doing things, your purpose becomes even more prevalent. You become even more aware. Your vision, you become even more aware. And what happens is, guys, listen. When you are in action, when you are in movement, that's called momentum. When you're doing things, stuff starts aligning itself. Understand, you can never know what you're called to do sitting at home on your couch, watching TV, thinking about what you're going to be one day. You've got to do something. You've got to do something. I told my husband, 2016, it's a just do it year. It's a Nike, just do it. I'm not worried about what if it work out, what if it don't. No, just do it. Let's grab the camera. Let's go shoot. Let's do what we need to do. Just do it. Creating content, creating products, just do it. Just get it done. Because as you begin to take the right activities, guys, momentum, when you're in motion, things start lining up. And I heard Joyce Meyer say something several years ago. She said, so many of us are praying about making the wrong move. She said, but let me tell you something about God. If you're not doing what he don't want you to do, he will come tap you on the shoulder and let you know. But you got to be in movement. He will correct your path. He will start aligning things. He will start aligning things. So I need y'all to understand, in order to get purpose, joy, and peace in your life, first thing is you need a relationship with God. I'm sorry. You can be an atheist if you want to. If you're an atheist and you got life figured out, well, good for you. You know, Keisha just shared something. 2 Chronicles 7:14. Is it 7:14 or 7:4? 7:14. It says, then if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear from heaven, I will forgive their sins, and I will heal the land. You know, guys, right now, the world is falling apart. It is pure hell and chaos. They had the shooting yesterday in California. They had the killings in Paris a couple weeks ago. Killed 130 something, 140 something, maybe 120 something people. You got all this uproar in Syria. You got these refugees crossing the ocean with their kids. I saw a video the other day where a fisherman found a family just in the middle of the ocean, just floating. Thank God they had a life jacket and an 18-month-old was there. And I can't imagine what their life was like in them frigid waters in the middle of the ocean with no help in sight. And these random fishermen found them. It's all kind of stories like that. It's some hell happening. But here's what we have to understand. God still knows all, sees all, and is in control of all. And I say all the time, we are spirit beings having a human experience. We're not human beings having a spirit experience. So this flesh is going to die. It got to die because it's a borrowed body. But the spirit of the living God, we all have spirits within us. And God works through us to be able to guide us and to touch us, right? To position us. And even though all this stuff is happening, here's how I had to learn to look at tragedy. We all have a birthday and we all have a day that we have to leave this earth. God knows exactly when that moment is going to happen. How it's going to happen, we don't know that. And does God allow things to happen? Do they have permission? He grants permission for how, you're going to leave. You're going to leave. Some of us might leave through health challenges. Some of us might leave through a tragedy. Some of us might just go to sleep and never wake up. The reality is, it's not about what happens to the body. It's what happens to the spirit. See, I see when all this stuff happening, I heard some stuff happening to kids. The way they kept me from falling apart when stuff happened to kids is because I said, oh God, you restored that baby before it took, before they even could feel the pain. You took that spirit back. You took that soul back home with you, right? Because as I'm looking at all this stuff, all I can see is an intention to create fear, to make you think that there is no God. You see, I read this book called Outwitting the Devil. I don't know if it's in here. But it's a book called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. And the book was actually banned because it was written way back. I don't know if it was in the late 1800s, early 1900s, but they would never, ever let that book be published in that day and age. It was a conversation that would not be allowed. But the book Outwitting the Devil said that the greatest scheme of the devil is to make you believe that there's no God. And to make you believe that the devil doesn't exist. That the devil doesn't exist and that there's no God. If I can get you to stop believing, then I got you. Because you will totally lose sight of who you are and whose you are, and you will live a life purposeless. Purposeless. Okay? Purposeless. So many of us, ladies and gentlemen, don't really have the faith to believe that God still exists, even in all this tragedy. And I promise you, the devil's doing an awesome job. This morning on the cover of New York Magazine, it's New York Times or whatever, it says, God is not fixing this. What better headline for the enemy to put out there to make you think that God does not care about your life? What better headline? The reality is he really cares. But 2 Chronicles 7:14, if my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. Let me tell y'all something. The world don't want the accountability of God. They're removing God from schools. They want to remove in God we trust from the money. They're removing God from church. They separation of church and state. They want to remove the 10 commandments out of these different public buildings. God says, you want to remove me completely, then I'll let you have your way, and I'll let your human nature take control of this earth. And what is happening? Human nature is taking control. The evil of this earth is having its way. And what is it doing to those of you who do believe, right? Who do believe? Some of you, your faith, your foundation is so weak, it has cracks in it, that as every little thing starts happening, bit by bit, you start having a doubt planted seed in your mind. And then now yesterday you were a strong believer. Today you're like, oh Lord, where are you? I'm waiting on you. Tomorrow you're like, God, I don't know if you even care about me anymore. And then days later, you just like, forget it. I'll figure it out. Or maybe God doesn't care about me. I want y'all to understand that the first secret to purpose, peace, and joy in your life is, boy, you better get a relationship with God, and you better get a relationship with this book. See, people don't like talking about this stuff because it ain't sexy. But you know what's sexy? Confidence is sexy. Purpose is sexy. Belief, faith is sexy. Having a God that got your back no matter what happens is sexy. Knowing that no matter what happens on this earth, that I am on such an assignment that I don't care who's for me. If you could be, who's against me? If God got my back, God plus me is the majority. That's what's sexy. And so when I see all this stuff happening, a lot of people, when it comes to business, you're not supposed to talk about religion and politics because it's going to compromise your business. Let me tell y'all something. My provider ain't y'all. My provider ain't the person who's going to get offended on Facebook who decides to never buy my product. I don't care about you. My assignment is to bring forth the word of God and to not be ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ, because God takes care of me, baby. God takes care of me. So I'm not going to be concerned about religion and politics and you getting offended because you don't like to hear what I got to say, because you think that that's not politically correct to bring up Jesus in the marketplace. But you can talk to me about everything else. You can talk to me about sex. You can talk to me about materialism. You can talk to me about gossip and beating other people down, but I can't bring up Jesus Christ. You crazy. You crazy. You crazy. And you think I'm going to hide it when it comes to my success, that I'm going to say, I did this? No, I didn't do this. I was positioned by God to do this, to be a vessel and a mouthpiece for him. You see, when you operate in a level of purpose and intention and alignment and connection and assignment for what God has called you to do, baby, when God be for me, who can dare be against me? The things that are impossible with men are possible with God. For all things shall work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his will and purpose. The steps of a righteous man are ordered by the Lord. For I know the plans that I have for you, plans to give you a future and a hope and not of evil. God, he says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Let me tell y'all something. Purpose, joy, and peace in this life will only come if you have a spiritual connection to something greater than human nature, because human nature will fail you. People will fail you. People will judge you. People will abandon you. People will disappoint you. People's moods will swing. People's health conditions will fall apart. People's mental states will be extremely erratic or whatever the word is, to the point where if they have a gun in their hand, they just might shoot you because of how they feel in that moment. Let me tell y'all something about where I live, this good old state of Texas. My brother-in-law works on a campus in South Texas in Corpus Christi, and he came here for Thanksgiving, and he said, hey, let me just let y'all know something. We just got out of a meeting, and as of August 1st of 2016, the college campuses are now allowing students to be armed with a weapon as long as they have a license. So that means that college students in the state of Texas will be able to have a gun walking around armed as long as they have a license. So here's what he says to me. He says, I don't know if he said 21 or 24, but let's just say 21,000. He said, Nick, we got 21,000 students on our campus, of which 15,000 already applied for their gun license. Do y'all hear me? That's a 75% population that have applied for guns. They're trying to encourage gun freedom. They want to have people walking around armed and dangerous, but legal. We have 13-year-old kids getting shot and killed and nobody being held accountable. The police, the government killing our kids, and it's permissible by law. There's so many things that are happening that if you don't have a faith in a God that can see beyond all of this to give you a level of understanding that he is still in control regardless of what's happening around you, guys, I'm telling you, this is a season of true demonic warfare, spiritual warfare and demonic interjection, whatever the word is. I have another book called A Divine Revelation of Hell. This book, I read it when I was in college, changed my life. I highly recommend you get it. You see, there's a lot of stuff happening in the spirit realm that is transpiring in the physical realm. And what's happening right now is the world is planting fear in you, and they are trying to kill you, kill your destiny, kill our kids. They want to kill us in our food, our food, our food. All the food that you eat every single day is in our food, in the meat, in the juices, in the milk. I just found out that almond milk is not good because it has some kind of whatever it is. And I'm thinking, dang, I can't do dairy. Now I can't do almond milk. Is cashew milk okay? You can't do soy milk. The point is, guys, there's so much stuff going on around us that we cannot control. What we can control is the peace of God that surpasses all understanding, that will guard our hearts and our minds through Christ Jesus. Yes, I am here testifying and prophesying about the Lord on this Periscope. Why? Because my life serves no purpose if I don't. Guys, when I look around at what's happening, I know that we got to have these conversations. We've got to talk about the Lord. We've got to encourage you to salvation. We've got to get you to seek the face of God. Because if you don't, your destiny can die. Your purpose can die. Your life can be destroyed by the external forces that are designed to destroy you. You've got to have a connection with the Lord so that you can have the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, to guard your hearts and your minds through Christ Jesus. Listen, y'all, I am really, really appreciative that God trusts me enough to give me the platforms he's given me. But I'm not on these platforms to make a lot of money. That's not the goal. I'm not on these platforms to be an internet marketing celebrity. That's not the goal. I'm here to be a voice crying out in the wilderness, being able to share with people the peace of God. My husband and I, we've been looking at the story of Moses over and over again in that movie Exodus with Christian Bale. Absolutely phenomenal movie. And you look at all the stuff that they went through. One of the scenes, and I got to get to the doctor, but one of the scenes was when the Pharaoh would not let the people go. It wouldn't let the Israelites go. And God had given Moses instruction to tell his people to kill a lamb and to take the blood from the lamb and put it on their door. Okay, take the blood from the lamb and put it on their door. Now, they didn't know why, but they had to follow instructions. So you started seeing all of them going through, and they started, thank you, Keisha. That's my girl. Keisha, come move here. I need your help. Come work with me, Keisha. Come to Texas. She be on it for me. This morning I got stuck, and she came up with that picture. I'm like, oh, I need Keisha King in my life. Thank you. So long story short, they didn't know what was going to happen. They just had to be obedient. So they got the calf, and they, killed the calf, and they got the sacrifice of it and the blood, and they put it on the doorpost, right? They put it on the doorpost. Then suddenly a dark cloud, like a dark thing, just came over the entire area. Okay. And what it did was all the firstborn sons were taken whose houses were not covered in the blood. Now, that may seem like, oh my God, why would God do something like that? The point is, obedience is better than sacrifice, right? Obedience is better than sacrifice. When God gives you an assignment, you got to obey, because there are consequences to your disobedience. We live in a generation where we want to be permissible to do whatever we want, how we want, and God should be forgiving by any means necessary. But we have assignments. And in order for God to trust us, we have to be obedient in that assignment. One of my assignments, y'all, I knew business is my ministry. I'm not in business to be a business guru because I'm just here to make Nicole S. Cooper shine. Nicole has no shine without her assignment by God. So when this is a ministry, it's being able to convey to people that, yeah, I'm going to show you how to make money. I can show you how to make a lot of money. Y'all look at my wall. That's a map right there. Boom. I'll show you. Okay. That's a little plan, right? I can show you how to make money. I got a whole little blueprint, how to get to $1 million a year, right? I have the gift. God will give you the physical, real gifts, but you got to be obedient in your assignment. And that assignment is that I work with a lot of people that are hurting. I work with a lot of people that are empty. I work with a lot of people whose lives are falling apart behind the scenes. I work with a lot of people who look successful, but everything in their life is falling apart. Their marriage sucks. Their children hate them. Their relationship with their family is to shreds. But, oh, I'm big shot. I make millions of dollars and I this, that, and the other. I see it all the time. You see it on Wall Street. You know, people committing suicide who are filthy freaking rich. It doesn't matter what you have in the external. It matters what comes out of you and what your assignment is within your spirit. Because, guys, your spirit beings having a human experience. So anyway, I got to get dressed and I got to go. This was just a little chit chat because, you know, I can give y'all all the little tips and the little secrets to this, that, and the other. But if your life is empty and hurting and lack fulfillment and you're struggling all the time mentally and you're dealing with just all these crazy thoughts, and if you allow yourself to be consumed by everything that's going on around us, what's the point? I don't care how much money you make. The artist said we have to detox your body a lot and have to keep our temple clean so God can live in you. Awesome. So anyway, this isn't my typical speech. And he gets the block party. Vasily, you got to go. You know, but there's people like that. He's hurting. Absolutely empty for you to come up here and put these kind of posts. You can see the pain in the people based on how they act. And so I got to wrap this up. If you want purpose, peace, and joy, it all starts with the Lord, my friends. So if we're going to do this. If you have a desire to ask God into your life, you want to know, well, how do you know if God is in your life? You just say, you know what, Lord, I believe in you. I trust you. And if I don't have a level of belief, help me in my unbelief. Lord, I ask, you say, I come to you in the name of Jesus, asking that you show me what is my life? Why am I here? What do you want to do in me? How do you want to guide my life? Where do you want to take me? Prove to me, God, who you are. Show me. Let me have a personal relationship. I love hearing how everybody else got one, but I want one. Please show me. God loves that. He loves when you come to him, even if you have a lack of faith. He loves when you say, Lord, help me in my unbelief. Show me. So the name of the books that I shared today. Ooh, what name of the books did I share? Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Outwitting the Devil. What else did I talk about? Divine Revelation of Hell by Lisa Baxter. Lisa K. Baxter. I think it's Lisa or Catherine Baxter or something like that. Divine. I'm going to see if I'll show you the cover and then I got to get dressed. I think I'm supposed to be at the doctor in like 30 minutes. Let's see. Outwitting the Devil. And it's Napoleon Hill. I probably gave that book away. The Divine. My kids be killing my bookshelf. They just throw stuff everywhere, see? You can tell when they're in here. They just be going through my books. I don't see it, though. But it's called Divine Revelation of Hell. And her name is like Lisa K. Baxter or something like that. Yeah, great book, great book. And, those two, Napoleon Hill. Okay, so anyway, got to get dressed. Oh, this is another one. This one is good by John Bevere. It's called The Bait of Satan. It talks about when you let room for offense in your life, when you get easily offended, how the enemy uses that, the bait of Satan. That's a good book. Y'all know I love books. I have so many books. It's crazy. But anyway, I got to go, y'all. So great talking to you. I am going to head out, and I will do part 2 tonight of how to create value to attract more leads in your life. So y'all have a great and awesome day. Bye.